We get to notice I have people ready to offer themselves to the darkness. By hands, no? As an artist, Catherwood did the drawing of this place of Tulum and identify how the site was found, all covered with vegetation. And in 1990, I mentioned you, with the help of satellite, they start finding more sites in the area. On the 205,000 square miles, they have what Tulum means. In the Maya language, Tulum spells T-U-L-U-U-M and pronounced Tulum. Tulum. Tu in Maya means smelly. Yeah? And lum, it's soil. Smelly soil. But why? To get to the site, we need to walk a path. Then along the side, you find swamp area. And when it rains, you feel the smell of the swamp area, no? In Maya, the expression, it's tulum. Yeah? And Samna, it's like morning sunrise.
嚟個 Tulum 呢度啦，咁咧呢度咧就樣都要收錢嘅，呢個墨西哥人咩都收錢嘅。如果用呢個 video cam 影相咧，就要收4蚊美金。而咧你可以行上嗰個遺跡嗰度，但係都好似我哋咁去坐車慳翻啲時間，咁啊每人個半嚟咁。
來回嘅1.5個就係，但係咧最慘就係去廁所都要俾錢喎。係啦，佢哋爭氣，唔好去咁多。哎呀 ，BB 你要爭氣。賣
首飾啊，賣紀念品啊，
啲毛
唔坐車㗎啦。咁啊唔坐車就慢慢一路行上去，我唔知行幾耐啊，不過可能行4個字到啦，3/4 of a mile。頭先嗰個導遊話。
Entering the site.
Cameras and have the video cameras to read.
入到嚟遺跡入面咧，就係咁樣樣啦，一嚿嚿爛嘢。咁咧就係以前唔知喺水底下邊啦，定喺泥下邊啦，總之咧就俾人發掘咗出嚟。
You get to notice on top of this wall, for lunch. That we can send this to Colonel Sanders today, and he can do all kinds of special recipe on it, no? Extra crunchy or extra crispy. Kentucky Fried Iguana.
How does it taste like?
Well, everybody's wallet is wallet on the 3 places. Even the southern side is wallet. That's the reason this became to be one of the famous sites. But divided in 3 sections. We get to notice it's divided in here, inside, and out here. And divide the 3 different classes that the Mayans had, no? The city dates back to 10 to 1521 AD.
指咧最出嗰度咧就高層高 high class， 依家咧中間就 middle class， 而後邊咧就 lower class 嘅。咦吟咩咧你？呢個咧以前係一個出口嚟嘅，去另外一個地方。
Please, the exit is on the other side, and this is to symbolize that wherever you go. Before we go inside, we have to show a little bit of respect, no? The simple respect is bowing. Once we bow, we can enter without hitting our heads. We can jump around, we can run around, because the height of the inside is...
後邊嗰啲有啲咩食物嗰啲係咩嚟㗎？
去另外個咩 X 咩啊蘇嗰度。
Number 8. As we move along, amigos, you might see carefully how thick the walls are. Yeah? And you can get to notice they had mortar. Sometimes different structures on the area, we don't find no mortar around the sun or the position of the planet or the stars. This is one example of how they identify the sun shining through on March 21st, September 22nd, June 21st, and December 22nd. You have a name for this? Huh? Well, that's mostly what a lot of passengers been telling visitors, that this is decoration. It's used as a porch, no? Because of the remains of the steps But we get to notice, like I'm asking you this because out there on the side, they have one example, but it's berry. And sometimes I get to have people kind of surprising or kind of confused, no? That how can I identify this? Well, because I see carefully what archaeology has done the digging and shows this decoration and shows the other side, and on the center part it has an opening, but to show the remains of the steps. And seeing that Mayans never destroyed their temples. They maintain them as layers to build temples on top of another, to have our elevation as idea to get closer to heaven. And that's the reason we get to see temples taller and taller on the area. And those principal temples were used for different purpose. Like we can get to notice that this place had influence of the Toltecs. How can we identify this, that they had influence of Toltecs? The major decoration that the front door of the temple has, those have two columns from the distance that we are or where we get to move. It's simple columns. But if we were up there and a few yards or few steps away from that, you won't recognize that as a simple column. You might recognize this as a figure, symbolizing Kukulkan and Quetzalcoatl. The Kukulkan and Quetzalcoatl is two names from the two different cultures, Maya and Toltec, Nahuatl and Maya. And it's translated to snake with feathers. And how we can identify this as a snake? The lintel is supported by the tail, and the column is the body, and the heads are on the ground. And we don't have the chance to see it because of the position and because it's roped up and not letting us get closer. But moving along for the restoration, the archaeology has done out here. Out here, layers of walls that you can see that have been put all shows on the area, no? If this had continue, we might see up here this part of the layer of the wall. And they have three of them, and how we can identify that there were three layers, it's out here on the front, amigos. This part of the architecture that Mayans used on the area. If you get to notice, see that doesn't want to work so well out here. But you can get to see out there where the trunk is sticking out. You see the little trunk sticking out? It's part of the wall, the first wall, and then this is the second and the third one out here. And right here, you can get to notice the digging that went on, identify later on this as a burial. Why? It's kind of surprising because house, this is identified as a burial. They have only 2 foot wide by 3 foot long and 3 feet high. Can you identify this as a burial? We might identify the Mayans were tiny or short, no? But it's believed that experts found Mayans folded. Foot crossed, hands like this, and looking up. And identify later on this as a sky watcher. Because this temple relates to something that I like to show you around here. And this is what I was mentioning you. This is a porch, because you can see this is the remainder of the steps, and this is the other decoration of the porch. It's kind of surprising that you see the temple tilted right here on the side. But if you go on the back side, everything is lined up. Early morning sunrise. And that's the temple that I'm showing you out there. Shows two pictures taken on the same temple. Shows two pictures. Why? Because that's the idea that we can get to notice that their season good enough and their season bad enough for the crops on the area. And because they like to preserve and protect painting on the inside. If no, swallow birds, iguana can go inside and destroy everything. But it's understood that this picture, if it's put inside a computer, we can add the same color and show this. In the front is for the ritual dance. But what is important on this area too, it's not only much of that, it's the decorations that we still see at this temple. And take a careful look, amigos, and tell me what can you identify on the corner of this temple?
Elephant.